a singer struggling to sing the high notes with ease? Now, usually when we sing a song, the lower notes are much more easier for us to sing, right? But when we go higher, when we go into the high pitches, that is where we start feeling a lot of strain in our voice. Sometimes we see our voice cracking as we go to higher notes. Sometimes we feel an actual pain in the throat. Sometimes we feel really tired and exhausted just after singing 10 minutes of high notes. So tell me, what is your relationship with the high notes? What are the kind of issues you face? Don't worry, I have had a long struggle myself with the high notes, so I completely understand what you're going through. But now I'm a very different and transformed singer, I would say, because now I'm able to sing my high notes very effortlessly. I'm able to expand my vocal range beyond its normal levels, and I'm able to sing for 4 to 5 hours a day without exhausting my voice. So how did I make that transformation with my high notes from struggling with it to singing it very effortlessly? That is what I'm going to share with you today. So there are going to be many secrets that I will reveal about what I have learnt through my journey and how I overcame each and every struggle with the high notes. So I'm Pratibha Sarathy, you're watching VoxGuru's YouTube series. If you enjoy our videos, please do subscribe to this channel right away. It will really give me my daily dose of motivation to keep creating great content for you. The first reason why I struggled with high notes is, for many years I used to think that singing high means singing loud. Right from my childhood, I didn't have a very strong and bold voice. I always had a very subtle, soft voice. So my teachers always used to say, sing loudly, sing loudly. So after a point, I used to think that if I sing very loudly, I can hit the high notes. So if I see a pattern like this, for example, I would sing it like this. Da ni sa re ga ma ga re. So I would try to sing as loudly as possible, thinking that that was the only way to hit the high notes. It was only after a few years that I met a very good voice expert, and she told me that what you are doing is not called singing. You are basically shouting. Your singing sounds very harsh. It does not sound pleasant. It does not sound melodious. Yes, you are hitting the notes, but you are literally hitting the notes, right? That is not what music is about. Music has to be beautiful. It has to be pleasant, no matter what notes you're singing, whether it's high, whether it is medium, whether it's low. It should sound beautiful, right? So this is something that really transformed my approach towards singing. I was like, what? You mean I can sing high notes without shouting? That is news to me. So now comes the next question. How do I do that? How do I hit the high note without shouting? Now the biggest solution, and I would say the magic key that transformed my singing, was called the head voice. Now once I started exploring this head voice, it opened up a completely new world for me. I realized that instead of struggling to sing the high notes like da ni sa re ga, I could sing it much more easily like da ni sa re ga. So I'm able to give the same amount of power, the same amount of volume, but I'm not shouting, I'm not straining. It is sounding more pleasant, more beautiful, right? So how do you use this kind of voice? How do you find the head voice? It's actually very simple. Head voice is the voice that you use when you yawn. We all yawn, right? So give me a nice fake yawn right now, like you see that sound that is resonating somewhere high above. That is called the head voice. Now try to sing a note using this voice, like so I want you to inhale as if you are going to yawn. So imitate that inhalation, because that is a very deep inhalation. It's very different from the normal inhalation that we do, right? So when we yawn, we go like, so it's like very deep. So I want you to inhale that way, and then instead of yawning, try to hold a note. So it would go like, Let's try to go higher. A little higher. So were you able to find your head voice? I know it might feel super weird initially, right? Because this is a very different voice from what we are used to hearing. So initially you might feel like this is not your voice at all. You may feel this is a totally different person singing right now, right? That is how I also felt in my initial days. In fact, when I first came to know about the head voice, I used to think it is same as false voice. So I thought using the head voice means you're using a false voice. So I always had a very guilty feeling while using it. And because of that, I would not use it properly. I would not use it with the power that it is capable of, right? Because I was made to believe that head voice means false voice. And there are many people even today who say that you should not use your head voice in Carnatic music. Well, I completely disagree. I sing Carnatic music very regularly and I use my head voice very, very actively. In fact, you can observe every Carnatic rendition that I have done in this channel and you can clearly see that I have actively used my head voice. At no point of time am I screaming or shouting. I am not struggling to hit the notes. I am very much moving into my head voice. Of course, I have spent a lot of time in figuring out how to blend this head voice into Carnatic music. That is something you need to do. Now, just because you find your head voice, the yawning voice and all that, you cannot use it as it is. You cannot sound like an opera singer when you're singing Carnatic music, right? So you have to know how to bring it into the Carnatic sound and sing in a healthy manner and in an authentic manner. So that is going to take some time and some training. But let me be very, very open with you that please do explore your head voice. Finding your head voice will be the biggest help you do to yourself. It's going to open up a whole new world of notes that you didn't even imagine you could reach. And it's going to keep your voice in very good shape for many years to come. Hope you enjoyed this video and hope it will help you overcome your struggle with the high notes the way I did. And if you want more personal guidance, if you want to work with an expert, understand your voice better, figure out how to use your head voice appropriately, how to smoothly transition the voice and so on, then we have a beautiful voice culture program for you at VoxGuru. So it is a live course for about 6 months. So in this course, I have put together some of the top exercises that have personally helped me because as you know, I have struggled a lot in my early days. So I literally know what exercises really work wonders and I have chosen the best exercises for this program. It's going to be an action-packed program. So by the end of this course, you're going to have a great collection, a great series of workouts for your voice. And this is going to give you a template for the rest of your journey. So this is not just a one-time thing that you will do some exercises and stop there, right? This gives you a template of how to train your voice in future. What should you be doing every day? What types of exercises you need to be doing and how does each exercise help, right? So it needs to be a very balanced approach. Just like how we need a balanced diet, right? We need all the necessary nutrients. Similarly, in vocal training also, it needs to be very balanced. We cannot just focus only on one thing. We cannot just be focusing on high notes. If you keep singing high notes for a very long time, you're going to damage your voice. So you need a more holistic approach. Even if your final goal is to sing high notes, the approach needs to be holistic. You cannot work on just one thing individually, right? So come join our voice training experience and see it for yourself, how you make that transformation. Just drop us a WhatsApp message. I have shared the link in the description. So say hi to us and we will get in touch with you. We will discuss your needs, your challenges and accordingly suggest what's the right course that you can join. So I'll be eagerly waiting for your message. And don't forget to download the VoxGuru app where you can also find a lot of self-learning courses. So we have plenty of voice culture courses as well on that. So each aspect of voice culture, I have tried to focus more deeply and again share a lot of exercises that have personally benefited me. And apart from voice culture, you also have courses on Carnatic, Hindustani, ear training, and also a tiny tots program as well. So please go explore the app. The links are there in the description. So I'll be eagerly waiting for that WhatsApp message. Take care and see you soon.